Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we've got an absolutely fascinating analysis lined up for you. We are going to completely rethink how we view family dynamics, leadership, and human connection, all based on some deeply thought-provoking source material. Seriously, if you've ever felt like your family arguments just go in endless circles, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention. Okay, let's dive right into this and challenge some deeply held assumptions.
So we've all been heavily conditioned to believe that majority rule is the ultimate, fairest solution for absolutely any disagreement, right? Whether it's picking a movie for the night, deciding on curfews, or making huge life choices. But what if defaulting to a vote in your own household is actually a massive red flag?
Which brings us to our first major paradigm shift from the source. Section 1. The 70% democracy illusion, a work in progress.
The source presents this really unique philosophical framework. It basically argues that our current modern iteration of democracy, and hey, even communism for that matter, are merely 70% theories. What that means is they aren't finished, perfected systems yet. We are essentially still living in a beta version of social order. It's still very much a work in progress.
So the source argues that to fill this missing 30% and reach 100% completion, intellectuals really need to step up and establish a perfectly symmetrical, vertical order. True democracy, according to this framework, isn't just about a flat, side-by-side equality where everyone is deemed exactly the same. No, it requires a structured balance of roles and responsibilities.
And that perfectly tees up how this 70% illusion applies right inside the home. Section 2, majority rule isn't competence. Take a second and really reflect on your own family disputes. According to the source, if you're a parent and you resort to a majority vote to resolve an issue with your kids, it's actually an admission of failure in your leadership. You're relying on a vote precisely because you lack the competence to properly explain, guide, and persuade them.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this. When a parent just throws their hands up and says, all right, let's just put it to a vote, they are voluntarily abdicating their role as the guide, the superior. They drop right down to become an equal peer with their child. If your vote counts exactly the same as your teenagers, well, the necessary order of leadership in your home has essentially been erased.
To fix this dynamic, we literally have to redefine leadership. Section 3, competence, not age, redefining superiority.
The old traditional assumption is that just being older or simply having the title of parent inherently puts you in charge. But the source completely dismantles this idea. The true definition of superiority equals competence, and the literal ability to help the person below you.
The source emphasizes this concept of a true superior. It means that without the actual practical skill to assist others, an older person is literally just someone who has existed for more years. That's it. They aren't worthy of leading just because they were born earlier. They must be genuinely needed by the people they wish to guide.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates exactly why kids naturally rebel against certain authority figures. Children will instinctively respect and follow a parent who acts with the competence of a true superior. But if a parent acts without skill, relying purely on the whole because I said so routine, the child will dismiss them. Genuine respect is earned through the competence of your words and actions, not your birth date.
Now, let's bring this high-level philosophy right down to earth with a highly charged example. Section 4, marriage objections, a chance for dialogue.
Think about it. If an adult child brings a partner home to get permission or approval, they are fundamentally signaling that they still need their parents' support and blessing. According to the source, this is the perfect golden moment for true dialogue. Parents must answer this need with real competence and guidance, not just a simple, unhelpful yes or no vote.
But what happens if the parents say no and the child just ignores them? Well, the source delivers this dramatic, high-stakes warning. If you marry despite opposition, you will certainly break up. The text actually presents this as a 100% certainty.
The fallout described here is absolutely severe. If a couple ignores strong family objections and, say, just runs away to Jeju Island to marry alone, the friction doesn't just magically disappear. The source warns that those unresolved issues will fester, leading to a much higher risk of divorce later down the line, often causing massive compounded suffering once kids are involved.
So how do we avoid all that pain? Well, the source provides a highly actionable step-by-step solution. Step 1, pause the plans. Step 2, ask the parents exactly why they object and truly listen to understand. Step 3, take time to genuinely study and improve those specific areas of concern. And step 4, only proceed when you've reached a mutual consensus.
This flips an objection from a roadblock into a really powerful opportunity for growth.
Which brings us to the philosophical climax of today's explainer, Section 5, Encounters. Everyone is a teacher. Because really, how do you actually build this required competence to lead, guide, and navigate these difficult dialogues in the first place?
True competence isn't just some framed certificate hanging on a wall. It is immediately and undeniably visible through the words we speak. You simply cannot fake intellectual depth. Your vocabulary, your tone, the actual substance of your words, they all reveal your true level of inner cultivation. And this is ultimately what dictates whether others will naturally respect you.
And you build that inner cultivation through what the Source calls the law of encounters. Now, this isn't some mystical idea of fate, okay? It is a deeply practical framework. It essentially posits that every single person sitting in front of you, whether it's your child, your parent, or that incredibly frustrating coworker, is a customized study opportunity provided directly by the universe.
To put this into perspective, think about 200 years ago. Strict social classes meant you only interacted with people exactly like you. Knowledge was heavily gatekept. But today, we live in an era with unprecedented, wide-open access to knowledge. Everyone has a fair shot to compete, learn, and grow. Because of this, the Source argues forcefully that we have absolutely no excuses for lacking competence today.
So the ultimate secret to gaining leadership and competence is actually stunningly simple. Treat everyone you meet with deep respect. When you truly respect the person in front of you, especially during a heated disagreement, you open yourself up to naturally absorb the exact lessons and perspectives you need to grow your own skills.
You really don't need to retreat to some secluded mountain to find self-improvement. The universe delivers your customized study material right to your doorstep every single day. That family member you're arguing with, the parent you are seeking approval from, they aren't in your way. Actually, they are your exact teachers in that very moment.
Which leaves us with this final lingering thought. I want you to start looking at the people in your life not as obstacles, and definitely not as peers to simply outvote, but as mirrors reflecting what you still need to learn. So, who is the teacher standing right in front of you today, and what are you learning from them? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this fresh perspective transforms your next family encounter. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.